Bottom Line.
Welcome to the Payments Podcast. I'm your host, Bottom Line Managing Editor, Owen McDonald. A simple web search defines silo in the business context as a system, process, or department that operates in isolation from others. Accounts Payable and Treasury teams know that feeling. Perhaps the most infamously siloed of all payment functions, breaking down barriers between AP and Treasury is mission critical to payments modernization. Who better to inform us about these dynamics than our guest, Kat Moy, Head of Education at the UK-based Accounts Payable Association. Kat Moy of the APA, welcome to the Payments Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Kat, we're entering the second half of calendar 2025. In what major ways is accounts payable still siloed off from Treasury today? Curious about things like why it has evolved that way and what disadvantages stem from having these teams insulated from each other.
Well, yeah, it seems to be the topic of the moment in our world. So, historically, accounts payable and treasury evolved as distinct functions with finance due to their differing core objectives. So, you look at accounts payable, which focuses on the day to day transaction, processing, and ensuring supplier payments, while treasury is often concerned with cash management, liquidity, and financial risk. This functional divide has traditionally placed them under separate leadership, often without distinct priorities and KPIs. The disadvantages of this are cash flow blind spots. So, accounts payable may not consider cash optimization when processing payments, while Treasury lacks a real time insight into outgoing payments, which of course impacts that liquidity management. You've also got missed optimization opportunities. So, a lack of coordination leads to inefficiencies such as missed early payment discounts or suboptimal payment timing. And finally, you've got risk management issues. So, again, poor alignment means gaps in compliance monitoring and fraud prevention. We all know fraud very prevalent in our world. So, as Treasury might not be aware of payment anomalies detected by AP. So it's evolved this way because organizations historically focus on specialization within each department. So again, it fine tunes its own expertise without necessarily integrating each other's processes. So with the rise of digital payments and financial automation, the lack of integration now seems more pronounced.
We had a recent chat and you surprised me by saying that when you joined the APA, you quote unquote got a lot of noise from AP professionals complaining that departments such as procurement, credit control, and treasury are against them. Your response was also eye-opening. You asked the AP folks, what are you doing about it? When it comes to removing opacity between AP and treasury, Kat, why are you taking the what are you doing about it approach with the AP function?
My passion has always been to empower accounts payable professions. Obviously, in my previous role managing teams, it was all about their empowerment. Um, sort of sitting on the bench waiting for someone else to do it just doesn't work in our world. So my approach centers on accountability. If accounts payable professionals perceive treasury as an unsupportive or uncooperative function, the first step is that self-reflection piece. Some of my past team members and current members of our association now refer to this as doing a bit of a TripAdvisor review on yourself. Are we proactively sharing our data, our insights, or strategic needs within Treasury to facilitate the relationship? So it's all about creating change from within. So as I've mentioned, instead of waiting for other departments to adjust, accounts payable can lead the charge by demonstrating their own value. For example, scheduling regular cross-functional meetings or sharing forecasts proactively. This in turn builds a culture of collaboration. The narrative shifts from us versus them to how can we work better together. So it's all about breaking the passive mindset and being intentional about collaboration. And again, a big topic for us in the APA has been making accounts payable a strategic function within finance and the wider business. And that's, in my opinion, how you get there.
You've also mentioned the need for a strategic relationship between AP and Treasury. Expand on that, Kat. Is this akin to having service level agreements between teams, or is it something else, or is it both?
I mean, possibly, while service level agreements define expectations on tasks and response times, a strategic relationship is more holistic. So it's about integrating objectives, understanding interdependencies, and prioritizing mutual success. So, some examples of strategic collaboration are joint forecasting. So, accounts payable provides insights on upcoming large payments, helping Treasury anticipate cash flow needs. You've got unified risk management. So, both departments coordinate on fraud detection and prevention strategies and collaborative technology use. So, integrating payment automation systems between accounts payable and treasury, streamlined data sharing, and real time cash positioning. So, it's not just about formal agreements, but fostering a mindset where both functions recognize each other's strategic importance, which in turn strengthens your organization and its wider goals and strategies, which is always appealing to that C suite.
Let's do some rule of threes, Kat. What are the three top benefits, in your view, of getting Treasury and accounts payable talking with each other and collaborating?
First of all, you've got improved cash management. So, real time data sharing allows Treasury to make more informed decisions on cash positioning and liquidity. Secondly, you've got cost efficiency. So, optimizing payment schedules and leveraging early payment discounts to reduce costs. And finally, I'd say risk mitigation. So, coordinated monitoring of payment data helps identify potential fraud or compliance issues sooner.
Pertaining to various types of B2B payments automation for Treasury and AP and their related but fundamentally different tasks, what is some prescriptive advice for bridging these systems and the teams using them?
Firstly, I would look at centralized payment platforms. So, implement unified systems where both departments can access the same payment data. In turn, that enables transparency and efficiency. I mean, as the head of education for Accounts Payable Association, I would be remiss not to mention cross-functional training. So educate accounts payable professionals on the strategic importance of cash flow management, and then educate treasury staff on day-to-day payment challenges. Also, I would recommend looking at data integration, so to sync payment statuses and cash forecasts, providing a single source of truth. And I guess finally, kind of going back to that first question, have some collaborative KPIs, key performance indicators. So define success metrics that reflect both AP's efficiency and Treasury's liquidity optimization, which again fosters a common goal between the two departments.
The APA recently had a big event in the UK, and I'm wondering if you walked away with some takeaways you can share with us.
Yeah, it was a fantastic event last week. There was definitely a buzz in the air because a part of that is we have key influencers in our association. So we announced our new list of the top 100 influencers across accounts payable. So it's not all accounts payable professionals. We also have advocates of the AP Association. We had on the day some brilliant panel discussions. So we had talks about AI and e-invoicing. We had a very relaxed panel given the topic on compliance regulations that went, which has never been so relaxed, but it was a very chilled out panel. And finally, we actually closed with Richard Ransom of Bottom Line on a panel about thought leadership around championing success in business and payments. So far, I've heard nothing but good things about the content. Really good day, really good energy in the room. And again, for me, it's always a good footnote for what content people want going forward. So things like Treasury came up quite a bit because in our world, a lot of accounts payable leaders are becoming shared service leaders, which of course then means you're incorporating the Treasury. And a lot of them are coming to me saying, we need Treasury content. And all of a sudden I'm going, leave it with me. I'll sort it out.
Accounts payable needs to overcome its imposter syndrome and take a seat at the strategy table. With that done, AP should be welcomed by a Treasury team only too happy to share data and be a collaborative partner. It's better that way. Our thanks to an exceptional guest, Kat Moy, Head of Education at the UK-based Accounts Payable Association. Check them out. To our audience, the smartest people in B2B payments, thanks for listening. Hit subscribe. Catch us again on your favorite podcast platforms, including Apple and Spotify. Bye for now.
The Payments Podcast from Bottom Line.